All right. So we've got some beautiful people here today. I'm looking at their faces. You can hear their voices. You will hear them in a moment. And I just want them to introduce themselves one by one. Just say your name and what it is that you do. What's your art form?
Okay, my name is Godfrey Ennis. I'm a musician slash DJ sound engineer.
And my name is Cherise, and I'm a crystal practitioner and an entrepreneur.
My name's Sophia. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and a healing practitioner.
My name is Nathan Baya. I am an artist and a passionate community worker.
Beautiful. So, my first question for this lovely panel. Where are you from originally? What block are you repping, or what country are you repping? And how did you get introduced to the Western community?
Okay, I'm from the Bahamas, right? And I've been living in Canada like 45 years now. And how I got involved in this community was I reached out to some of the people I know in urban arts and so forth. I'm a volunteer too. And also I'm working with them that I'm setting up a recording studio right now at Bartonville. And we have a recording studio going on. And me and Gabe here, this guy here. And thanks to Shakoya and Mick here that we getting it going. And we should start recording going on so we can bring all the youths in. And you could have something to do with the community, to help with the community, right? And make things a little better here in the Western.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Amazing. I was actually born on this block. Well, I was born in Etobicoke, but I was raised on Jane and Weston Road. So this block is very familiar to me. I also have some history on this block. My brother was actually murdered on Lawrence and Weston Road right up the way. And my cousin was also murdered at the Pizza on Lawrence and Weston Road. So I have a lot of passion when it comes to the community and bringing back the energy and the love to the block, because I know how dark and how cold it can be. And having safe spaces like Urban Arts it makes all the difference for, my journey. And I know a lot of other people who are coming up on their journey as well.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank
you. My people come from Gujarat and Malawi. And when we first immigrated to Canada, we moved to Jane and Finch. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but my mother really struggled with her mental health. And I feel like a lot of ancestral trauma. And I moved up here when Artscape opened up next door. I lived right next door. And the reason I came back to this community was after I was initiated as a healing practitioner, I wanted to create more healing spaces. I wanted to convert public spaces into healing spaces. So that's why I'm here.
Born and raised in Jane and Finch. I created an organization called Jane Street Speaks because I feel like many times we don't get the opportunity to speak. I feel like the news speaks for a lot of us and our voices don't get heard. So I created a platform where youths like myself who have a message could cater their message to the world. And my background is Congo. My parents come from there.
Hey. Beautiful. All right. So, live audience, I know that we have to keep the volume and the noise a bit down, but if you want to show some love to the people who are on the panel, just snap your fingers. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's go around. Let's go this way this time. Let us know what your art form is and why you chose it. If you chose it. Maybe it chose you. I don't know. Let me know.
Yeah, so for me, it started off with dance. At first, I didn't know how to describe the feelings I was going through in my childhood, but it's as if when I heard certain songs, it kind of spoke to how I was feeling. So it was that way of expressing myself. And then after a while, when I started to develop my language and my ability to speak more, I was able to, put it into words. And then it turns into me being a musician. So for me, dance, music, I feel like it shows me as an outlet. I recognize what it does for my mental health, so I like to utilize it as a way to help others boost their mental health and find health in their mental health. That's me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Y'all can snap for that. Woo-hoo. All right.
My current medium is light and sound, mostly because frequency is healing. And coming to this neighborhood, I really wanted to create a space that was healing but also accessible. And I'm initiated in the Dogra tradition, where we are in relationship with the river, the sky, the trees, the plants, the Katomble, but I'm also Muslim. And in Islam, we don't make offerings to any other beings. So to try and create a space that was accessible and respectful to all, I decided to work with Light and Sound. And this installation is supposed to be mounted in Little Memorial Park on September 13th and 14th. But it's being blocked by the city, unfortunately. And I'm thinking it's a bit of an Islamophobic thing, and I'm just going to say that here. I'm grateful to Michelle and Mick from Urban Arts that have been supporting the project and really trying to push it forward. I know that that's a little beyond the question you asked, but it's what my focus is right now.
Okay. It's good to know the story behind the passion.
I practice crystal healing, energy healing, sound healing. And the reason why I chose that, I think I chose it. I think it chose me. I think it was like a collaborative agreement to work with the energy stones and also sound, because I know that energy is frequency and it's like very subtle energies. And I know that emotionally I needed to be healed, spiritually I needed to be healed, physically I needed to be healed, soulishly I needed to be healed. And I was just trying to find an avenue that resonated with me, because I love nature, I love the sun, I love the earth, and I've been fascinated with crystals. I used to collect crystals. I used to want to be a geologist when I was younger, an archaeologist actually, digging up dinosaurs. That's what I wanted to do when I was in the first grade. But I grew and developed my love for crystals and wanting to help people. That's my main goal, is just to help people, create safe spaces for people to thrive and really find intentional inner healing.
Yes, as a young kid, I grew up liking music. And, I always wanted to be a drummer, right? So at a young age, I built my first drum kit at about, let's say, 5 years old. So I had some meat plastic buckets, some frying pans, some pots, and I know as I was growing up, I wanted to teach other people. So what I did, I performed that into going to practice and going to college and so forth. And now I'm out here to help the community, to show them what they could do, because I want to give back my talent. I wanted you to know that you could do anything you want to do as long as you put your mind to it. And I'm willing to go out there to help them out. As a recording studio we have down here in Bartonville, right? So we're trying to get a program that they could come out and all the kids can come and learn the instruments, the guitars, the drums, the bass, the keyboard, etc. And I'm here just to help the community to get back for my talent.
Love it.
Wonderful.
I'm a drummer, a professional drummer. Okay.
Beautiful. All right. So I'm actually also from this community originally. People think I'm from Scarborough because I live there now. But I always tell people, calm down. I'm from the West End. Graduated from Weston CI. This is my block. All right. Seeing? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man. So I tell people all the time, listen, I developed myself here. And the first music program I was ever in was here at Urban Arts in the Beats My Music program in high school. Right. So I'm really from this community, and I understand the impact that this community has on other people. And it helps to develop artists like crazy, and then they're able to expand and go other places, like for me going to Scarborough, killing it over there, but really only because I developed my talent here. How important is it for you to come back to the community of Weston and give back to the community and help to develop the talent here in this space?
Amazing question. Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It means a lot to me because growing up, I seen how dark and separated our people were from each other and from themselves. So being able to come back as a light and then have that demonstration, that leadership, that influence, that inner building, that, in your closet space and that in that your inner space where God develops you, and then you can come out into the light and say, hey, this is me. I'm shining. I'm making it look easy, but it wasn't easy. Coming back, it means a lot because I know there's a lot of young people who are growing up and they want to do art, but people are not taking art seriously. Art and, all these spiritual things, the world is not taking seriously, but to have people like us in our position where we're taking our music and we're taking our communication and we're taking our practices seriously, I feel like it's going to leave a big impact on the young people so they can see their horizons a little broader. Because when I was younger, I didn't have dancers or speakers in my midst to be like, yo, I want to be like them. But the fact that we're out here and we're leading in this demonstration, I know that we're making such a big impact for the young people.
Beautiful.
Just to add to that, I definitely relate, and I feel like we're all unique in our own ways, and when we walk into our light, we allow other people to walk into theirs. I'm not a guy who's ever sold any drugs. I don't care to play sports at all. All I wanted to do was dance and do my music. And within my community, that was kind of like a bit weird for people, but I stayed to what I do. So whenever I come back and I do programs, I can see there's other people like me, but it's hard to not follow the crowd because it's easier to, you know? And I feel like similar to what you said, I grew up with an African mother who sometimes, you know, they're so afraid and protective of you that they don't allow you to explore your community. So do I grow up in the West End? I didn't really get a chance to bond with my community till I got of age that I can go on road by myself. And then you see the lack of programming, the lack of access to art. And then I start to understand that, like, the reason why we fight so much is we don't get a chance to express. So then it gets pent up emotion, which leads to aggression. So when I go back, my goal is to just say, yo, even sometimes, like, a lot of studios don't coexist in the West End because of the content created from those studios. But what I tell people is don't be mad at the content because they're only seeing their content based on the environment. So if we focus on changing the environment, the content of the music will change and grow. Yes. But when we lock off the studios because we say, no more gangsterism, what are you telling them to talk about now? Because that's all they live through, you know? Yeah. So when I go back, it's my opportunity to say, yo, let's go perform. I'm not censoring nothing. This is your truth, and it's your opportunity to speak, you know? So it's important to go back, and especially when you're an older person and you're not afraid of getting bullied as much because you know you're a bit taller now, you're a bit strong, you can stand up for yourself. You can stand up for those younger than you.
Yeah, as for me, to follow up on that, like you said, a lot of stuff was going on in the community. I saw that they needed a lot of help, right? So I wanted to take my talent and get out and expose it to people just by helping out and making them stronger. Like I am, you know. I'm not a young boy. I'm 64. So, you know, looking up here.
You look young, though. You look young, though. Black don't crack.
That's the way it works here, you know. But, I mean, I'm out there to help people and to show them that you can be confident what you can do in this life. Right. Never let nobody put you down in your life, you know. The more you think about it, the better you get, and the more bad experience with it. And they're all adults like myself and this panel here. We will teach you what you can do when you have the knowledge in life to go on. Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, I don't have much to add to that. You guys did a great job.
All right, next question. What is it about the Western community? You know, what sauce occurs brewing in this community that reels people in? What is it about this beautiful community that brings people to it?
Our music. I feel like we have some of the hottest artists in the city. You know what I mean? I feel like our sauce, our authenticity, I feel like we almost decide what's cool and what's not. And the world kind of takes that and says, all right, cool, you know? So that's me. I would just say it's our overall sauce. And the fact that, like, yo, some communities we have nothing, but, yo, you have a little bread, a little rice. We just make it work and we make sure everybody gets to eat, you know? And it's just amazing how we come together as one and just have these kind of events. It's awesome to me.
And for me, it's a lot of energy in the community, right? Yeah. So you feed back off that. What makes it nice for all of us to get together and we stay as one, you know, and I like that because when I go there to perform and do anything and say what I got to say, I see the smiles on people's faces. They like to see us out there, and we got to think positive and make the positivity come back and feed it back to each other. And that's why I like the community itself because they see the strength in it and it makes us strong.
Beautiful.
You know?
Love that.
I'd like to add the multiculturalism. I like to see there's white people, black people, Muslim people, different religion, different cultures, different beliefs, different spiritualities. Somehow we find ourselves together in one space, loving on one another, regardless of what we believe in, regardless of who we love. I love that the fact that we welcome each other into our spaces and we love each other. So the multiculturalism for sure.
I also really love the multiculturalism. I go down to the Humber River, the new moon and the full moon, and you will see people from all over the world making offerings to this river. There will be watermelon, there will be roses, and they'll just come floating by. And people of all traditions go to the river to comfort themselves, to commune, to be in community together, and I'm really touched by it.
That's wonderful.
So, Culture Fest was created to help bring different art forms together. How have you seen this done at Urban Arts?
Well, for me, Urban Arts helped me to see a lot of things that I could do because I had the opportunity to do it when I didn't have the opportunity. Now they're helping me that I could run a recording studio and I could bring back and I could give back because I didn't know it was out there until I explored my ventures through meeting Mick and Shakoya. And now they give me the opportunity to volunteer, which I'm a volunteer at Urban Arts. And I try my best to participate in all the events that they have and try to do the best I could. And that's what brought me back into the community and Urban Arts itself so that I could show them my talent and what I could do.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think, just the fact that like Urban Arts booked like global artists to perform and had local artists as well in the same space, and just the opportunity to see like if this person is this close to me in proximity, I can be there too. So sometimes just by the exposure to certain people that, and I applaud you guys because not everybody gets funding and does what they're supposed to do. So the fact that those artists got booked and I got to see those artists like Ram Riddles and different artists that were booked on that platform, it was dope to see that as a young kid and then to be asked to come perform as an adult just shows you, anything is possible.
I found Urban Arts to be just a savior in this community. From the moment I moved in and reached out to Mick, he has been a huge support. He helped me get a grant to my project. I proposed a Muslim women's meditation yoga class that had never been done, so people felt comfortable and safe, and he helped that happen. He's been helping me with the city. Both him and Michelle at Crossroads have been just unbelievable, really. I've never had this kind of support from any arts organization, and I've been in the art scene as a professional artist for 30 years. So just hands down, incredible organization. So grateful for them.
Yes, Urban Arts, I'd like to highlight the team for your coordination and the way you guys show up all the time. I know it takes a lot to run this organization, and there's a lot that we don't see behind the scenes, but the part that we do see when you guys do show up is that you guys really do love and support on each other and us. As a crystal practitioner, I never thought I would have a space to say, okay, I can go here and teach a workshop. But because of Urban Arts, I felt like I found a safe space where I can be myself and teach people how to be themselves as well.
Beautiful. Y'all brought up funding and support and mentorship, and I just had a flashback because I know Urban Arts was actually the first space to cut me a check for performing spoken word poetry back in high school. Yeah, the first time, and the first place where I sat down with a mentor who broke down how to turn performing poetry into something that could be profitable for me. So big ups, y'all are doing some serious work. Serious work.
Urban Arts.
All right. So what was your first experience within the Weston community or within Urban Arts? You can choose whichever one.
First experience.
Yeah, first experience. Well, you grew up here, so
Yeah.
you could say Urban Arts, first experience with Urban Arts.
My first experience on Western Road was actually Frontlines.
Oh,
They actually
okay.
held a
All right.
ceremony for my brother when the tragedy happened. They held a ceremony there, and that was my first introduction to community because I was never really into the community. And I looked around and I said, "Wow, these are my people supporting me," And I just felt so at home. And from understanding the power of community through Frontlines, I found Urban Arts, and I was able to see you guys are doing similar work, and supporting artists is a huge deal. So grateful for that.
Yeah, well, my first in Weston, I had run a basketball court at Humber, and I saw there were a lot of young kids out there that's doing a lot of stupidness, right? So I said, let me get a license and bring them in. And I ran it for quite a few years, and they were happy about it. And that was my first venture into Weston and helping the community out.
Awesome.
And they enjoyed it, so it was happy for me. And they stayed out of fights, trouble, no drugs, no nothing, just came to enjoy and went home.
Beautiful.
Interestingly enough, my first experience was performing in Jane and Finch, and up to that point, African parents, lawyer, doctor, engineer,
Yeah.
those are the strong job
Yeah,
titles
yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why they're so outlined like that. So they told me, you'll never make money off of music or whatever. And the first time I performed, I only made $20, but that was just,
That's good enough.
that was the opening
That's good
door. It was like, oh, no, you're capping. There's money in here, Took the $20, went to Pizza, balled out, young youth. But I've seen a lot more than $20 from my career. And it's just a reminder that a job is something you create within yourself.
Yes,
And the
yes,
jobs that are
yes.
in you are the ones nobody has to pay you for. And
That's
then
right.
God will reward your
That's
discipline
right.
and
Amen,
find
yeah.
the check for that. You feel me?
I love that.
Oh, I already shared my first experience with Urban Arts was reaching out to Mick blindly about a crazy project I wanted to do, and him saying yes right away.
Big up, Mick.
Right. What has been your favorite experience in the Western community or within Urban Arts, for you?
For me, my favorite experience would be facilitating the workshops I'd be doing. I did a Mother's Day workshop not too long ago, and it was just like an intimate, safe space for us to come together and talk about nurturing, what nurturing means to us and what it means to be a nurturer. And we made crystal pendants, and it was just a fun time, and that's my memory right there.
My memory, I had a band and we played at the farmers market. When it was over there where they have the train tracks on the street there. Yeah, and I played there for quite a few times. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people eating all the food and coming in and bringing them in. So that was my experience, my best, out there just playing with the band.
Nice.
The flea market, farmers market,
For me, I would say when I started putting on my own events in community, putting on my own workshops, it's amazing to be booked by people, but to book yourself takes a different level of courage.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And,
Yes, sir.
I can genuinely say my community embraced my journey. And I would just go out there and yelling, yo, I'm having an event. I don't know who's going to show up, but I'm going to be there.
Yes,
and if
all
one
good.
person shows up, I'm going to give them all my energy because you showed up for me, so I'm going to show up for you.
Yes, sir.
And then from one came more and more and more. So just gratitude.
I'm going to say events like this. We are living in a polycrisis. The world is on fire, and you get caught up in that sometimes. And then you come out to an event like this, and you meet these people, and there's this excitement and energy and talent, and it inspires you and gives you hope.
Absolutely.
All right. So there have been a lot of changes in the community. Like even this space, it didn't exist back when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So there have been a lot of beautiful changes and a lot of changes that are maybe not so nice. But what are some changes that you would like to see happen for the Western community?
Some changes that you'd like to see for the Western community.
More room for entrepreneurship. Like we need to build our youth up. Like so many times, like we do have JVS and different job support programs, but a lot of the times jobs kill entrepreneurship spirit. So it is important that we kind of get to understand a youth still 15, 14 may not have that much responsibility, depending on his family situation. But I would like to see more room for youths to get a chance to say what they want to be. I think you said you wanted to be when you were younger?
Archaeologists.
See, if I said that in school, they would be like, Archie, what? You know what I mean? And those kind of things, they kill your spirit as a young kid. You might laugh with your classmates, but part of you kind of dies in there, and kind of mentally it's like you accept, I guess I can't be that because I'm black or because I come from here or whatever narrative, So just creating more room for youths to be able to say what they want to do, and for us to use our funding to expose them to people who are successful into that field and help them see a landscape of how I can become that, while also teaching them the importance of having job security and funding for themselves, just kind of not raising people to be depressed in their adulthood, just creating room for joy, your spirit in there and all that. That's me.
I love that. That was very powerful. I totally agree. Focusing on the youth, they're our future, and the more we pour into them, the more we'll get for our community, our society, loving on them, letting them know that what they have to think, what they have to say, how they feel is important, how they feel matters. And I feel like having safe spaces where we can facilitate that word to them is super important. So more safe spaces for the young people. That's what I want to see more on Western Road.
I'd love to see more places for community connection, rest, wellness. My dream is like changing that theater next door into a space that opens up on Sunday, and there's like a sound healing and a healthy lunch for the community, and we all hang out, and maybe there's a DJ, maybe there's a silent disco, I don't know. But I would like this to be a hub for wellness, art, and rest.
Yeah, the follow-up, I agree with him. Much more programs for the youths, like how Mick and Jacoy help at Urban Arts to keep them, out of trouble and so forth, so that they could, focus on their life much better, So that's a follow-up what he had to say. Yeah. Gentleman over there, yeah.
All right. So there has been a lot more diversity amongst, mainstream media. We've had black superhero movies. Like, we did not have that when we were little kids growing up, but we have a lot more things that are happening in mainstream media, a lot more diversity. Weston happens to be a very diverse community as well, right? So do you feel that this inclusion matters? And if so, what are some things that the Weston community could do to get even better at being inclusive?
Great question. Please.
I personally would love to see more spaces catered to Muslims and that are culturally sensitive to the religion and the tradition, understanding that women need to be covered in some cases and separate from men, and that there are things that are tailored for them. There's a huge Muslim community here, and I feel like very rarely are we catering to bringing them some awe and wonder, and I would love to see that.
Yeah. I think it's up to us as individuals to continue to do our own things, because I know when I put on my events, I encourage it as a safe space. I see white, I see black, I see everybody. And I think that, I think the more you step out, more people who identify with your vibe will come out to your events. So I feel like we can create the spaces ourselves, and I'm thankful for spaces like Urban Arts who would, I know you guys would host an artist event if an artist said he wanted to do an event here or a workshop here. So I would just encourage everybody in here to use your privilege to create more room for people. Like, I'm also French speaking and Congolese, so that means I understand how certain African parents may feel a way about where's my kid going, where's my kid staying, but I can now use my privilege to have that conversation with that mom to show, hey, I'm an elder in the community, I can bring your child and be safe, because home is an environment for comfort, and rarely does growth happen where comfort is. We need to be in here and network and do all these things so we can grow out of our comfort zone, and you come back home a different person, and you have more of appreciation for it.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Continue.
You want to say? You go ahead. I'm good with him.
I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm right behind these two. These two took it.
Killed it.
I'm good with the brother over there, so it's all good.
All right, awesome. All right, so at this point, let's open it up to all these beautiful people in the live audience and ask, do y'all have questions for this lovely panel? Anyone got a question? Ooh, I see a hand over here. The names
All
again?
of our names?
Let's run down the name list.
My
again.
name is Godfrey Ennis. God and free, yeah. Okay, I'm God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would take a pot, God.
I don't have no powers, so I'm going to say exactly what I am. I don't keep Godfrey. I don't have no powers. If I have powers, I would fix this world and make things the right way, the way it's supposed to be. That's what I would do.
That's that wisdom right there.
Yeah.
My name is Sharice.
I'm Sophia.
Nathan Baya, but some people call me Baya Baby too.
Bye, baby.
Feel me?
Woo! All right. Oh, Dynasty. Yes.
Or
yes.
Dinah.
Yes, or Dinah for short. Yes, and you had a question. Yes. So the question is, what was your biggest challenge? How did you overcome? And how did you feel once you did overcome that challenge? Okay, great question. Let's go.
Can you answer too though?
Let me go last. It's about y'all. Go ahead.
I think I want to go because I'm going to take this moment to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
One of my biggest challenges, I struggle with autoimmune. So for like a good 2 years, I really had no idea what was going on in my body. And I just thought I was dying from cancer, lost weight, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know how to heal. I tried everything from every herbalist and nothing helped, even made it worse until I surrendered, to the Most High. I said, Most High, you're in control. So I need help. So after I started surrendering, the teachers started to flow in. The teachers started to come. I started to gain a greater knowledge and understanding and wisdom of my body. And that was my biggest challenge, is dealing with my physical health, which also disrupted my mental health. So coming back to centering myself, surrendering before the Lord and asking for help, receiving that help, I feel like that transformed my whole journey. So that was my biggest challenge, and that's how I overcame, by surrendering.
Well, my biggest challenge in life, I was an abused kid, right? And it was like the lady who did the poetry being abused with, kids. And it was hard for me because I had to become a man before I was a boy. Because what had happened with my parents was my family told me I didn't have a mother or father. So what happened with me was I'm saying, I don't understand this thing. I'm getting crazy, right? But at the same token, too, I knew, well, because I see other kids with their mom and the dad, and I'm asking. So I went to my teacher one day and I asked her, is there a mother and is there a dad here? Because I'm confused, right? I don't know what's going on. So she said, yeah, your mother come. And what used to happen was my mom used to come to the fence, which I didn't know who she was, and she used to touch my hand and say, I love you, little baby, come and feel me. But I ran away from her because they told me she would kidnap me and take me away and never put me back. So, growing up in this life, sometimes you have to be strong and believe in the Father because sometimes there's a lot of negativity there. But at the same token, too, I had to overcome it. And when I realized that I had a mother at about 6 years old, I had a thing they call Boys Brigade or Boy Scout. I used to take my other siblings with me, and I lied to my aunts to run so they could know them. So when they get older, that they would know who she is. And it was so hard for me. And when I did, first time I hold my mom, I felt some love because I didn't know what love was all about. They didn't teach me love, you know what I mean? And at the same token, too, it was really hard. And, you could go into this world, and I was thinking I should be this one, I should be a bad boy, and it just was all confusing. But with the help of God and keeping faith and get therapy and going out there and positivity with people, I overcome that challenge, and now I'm here now,
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I grew up witnessing a lot of dysfunction in my home, outside of my home. Art became my way of expressing myself, and I think the biggest challenge to overcome was a feeling of not feeling chosen, in the perspective of, it would be ideal if every time you perform, your parents were in the crowd and all your friends and family were there every time. But that was not the case, and I would oftentimes look into the crowd and feel a sense of disparity of damn, where are my people at? And then what I had to overcome was accepting these are my people. You guys are all my brothers and sisters because we're all under one Father, which is God. And just accepting that no one really owes me support. I owe myself my support. It's my dreams. And
Amen.
not necessarily. And then from when I let that go, I don't feel a way if you missed my show or if you didn't repost my song. It's my song. It's my show. I'm thankful if you came, and if you didn't, I'm thankful if you're here in spirit or if you're just wishing me well. And the more I let go of my expectation, I don't face disappointment, and I practice gratitude more. And it's a lot healthier to live in the world in that way versus always having a rageful spirit that you didn't show up for me. You didn't. I showed up for myself. And that's all that matters to me.
Yes.
Beautiful. Love that. And so we're actually going to wrap it up after this, but you did tell me to answer the question. So don't worry. I'll answer. So for me, personally, I was raised in a single parent household and my mom had a mental illness, right? So being the oldest sibling and watching her struggle, we ended up in and out of homeless shelters for a good chunk of my adolescence. And I love the West End, right? But every single time we were in a shelter, there was no space in the shelters here. So I'd end up in the East End and I'd be traveling sometimes like 2 hours to get to high school, like to get to classes or to get to an arts program or whatever, to come back to the West to do that. And over the years, I realized that like it's not really something I overcome. It's just something that really helped to build my character, because I am not lazy. Like, I don't take people's excuses because I know that when I was hungry to come to an arts program, I traveled that 2 hours to go. You know, like when I really wanted to show up for something, I was there, right? So when people say that something's too far away or something is hard to get to or whatever, I'm like, I don't even have that anymore because I had no choice. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say it's just something that helped to build me, and like now I'm able to do a whole lot in my life because I went through those experiences. And honestly, like places like this, like Urban Arts, really, really helped as well in building the character, because they offered music as an escape, poetry as an escape, and honestly, they mentored me. Like all of these arts organizations that exist that struggle, and struggle to get funding and struggle to do what they do to support the community and to support the youth. Fam, trust me, I was one of those youths where if that didn't exist, I don't even know where my mental health would have been at. Like, I have no idea how I would have survived. So keep up the good work, because you might not think you're doing enough, but there's even that two youth who's in your programs who really needed it, and I was one of them. So thank you guys. And I'm happy to be here. Yeah. All right. So we actually have to wrap it up. I know, I'm so sorry, but we're on a time limit. We got one more question? We can do one more? All right, go ahead. Ooh, where do we look for hope, y'all?
Yo, the fact that you guys, I don't know what you guys felt when you woke up this morning, but you made it here. That's what gives me hope, because I know what I go through in the morning to get out of bed. And I recognize because I work with seniors too, and my seniors always show up for programs. And I know if they woke up with their aches and pain and said, yo, I'm still pulling up, who the hell am I to say I'm not going to show up? You feel me? You know what I mean? So, everybody here gives me hope, because we perform for the people. We perform for other human beings, and we're human beings ourselves. So I just feel like you guys showed up, we made the best of this experience, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's it. That's what gives me hope, the people.
Yeah, what gives me hope is when I wake up in the morning and I have breath into my body and I pray to God and I'm blessed. And every day for me is Christmas, no matter what day it is. So I'm happy, 24/7, baby.
What gives me hope is the fact that the Lord went before me. I believe that God is in eternity, but simultaneously chilling with us in time. Like, he finished the thing, and then he began. Like, my mind, what gives me hope is just basking in God's glory. I don't need to understand it fully. That's it. Period. That's it.
It's all said and done.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right. I think on that note, we are finished here today. Thank you all for being a part of this beautiful experience, and I hope that you got something from it. Big ups to Urban Arts. Big ups to the panelists.
We love you, Urban Arts. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Thank you for everything you do.
God bless you.
So thank you everyone for showing up, and that's the end of the show.